Hey everybody, today's show is all about the question of will a real estate CRM complicate my life? We're going to go over two scenarios. We're going to meet two agents, agent one and agent two. Then we're going to get to the meat of today's show where I'm going to attempt to debunk some common misconceptions related to the question of will a real estate CRM complicate my life? To wrap it up, I'm going to introduce you to Linda Agent, the real estate CRM industry's #1 challenge. Hope you all enjoy it. Let's go for it. Welcome to the Aegis Martech podcast. I'm your host, Chris Chiatti with Aegis Martech, and the goal of this podcast is to empower and provide resources that build up tech-enabled small business owners who can confidently leverage their business software to generate more revenue, gain a competitive advantage, and enrich their professional relationships. All right. So, will a real estate CRM complicate my life? Let's answer a quick question here. I mean, how many times, do you personally say to someone, like, "Hey, I'll email that over to you this afternoon," and then you get caught up in something else, like life, and completely move on without following up with that email, and then 2-3 days later, you might remember, but what if 3 days later is too late? At that point, you may have lost the sale. The opportunity could be gone, and with it, a certain level of your business's credibility as well. Or at minimum, you've lost some trust. And the danger in this is it's one thing if we're doing business in a silo as small business owners, right? But we also have these big tech giants that are leveraging technology to try to displace and disrupt us. So they're coming into the marketplace in all these industries, and we know they're definitely coming into real estate, and they're making things very convenient and very approachable for consumers. Now, given the chance, I'm just, speaking for me, and I think I speak for a lot of people, of, dealing with an actual human being or dealing with some big nameless, faceless, corporation, we will rather deal with people, just because of the human aspect in the relationship component of it. However, when it becomes challenging or, let's just say disruptive, pun intended, to deal with people who haven't adopted. I've got this one saying, I posted up, it's on the website. It's a little quote that I have to where I say, where's it at? Let me pull it up here. In today's highly competitive, tech-driven market, simply ignoring CRM advances will put you behind big tech giants trying to steal your clients. You can't afford to be less approachable, less convenient, or less organized. Let me throw an example out there. Let's say just one of what's known as a customer portal. Recently, this year, I've had my personal vehicle, it's been at the dealership. And once it gets logged in and they've had to have it for a couple days, they'll establish a little portal. I can log into the portal, see the quote, see the progress, see what's next, the parts are ordered, if they're delayed. Now, mind you, no, I'm not going to spend, my days and nights going into that customer portal. But if I have a question, okay, how far are they? And I need to make some plans a week out or a couple of days out. And I'm trying to figure out, if I'm going to have my primary vehicle with me or if I'm going to be in this rental or not. I could just log into the portal to see how things are going. To be honest, for the home services company, which we have like fleet vehicles, big, dually vans and trucks or whatever, they even have a customer portal. Whenever we drop something off, just for a standard service, we'll get a text message. You can log into the portal, see what's going on. So I'm not, listen, those things aren't deal breakers. I get that. But when we as consumers become accustomed to that, and we enter into what for most consumers is the biggest transaction of their entire life, and there's not a portal, and that convenience isn't there, it's a head scratcher. It's like, what? Really? But again, I know I've already said this once or twice. It's not a deal breaker, but it's just one of those things to be mindful of. And as those little nice to haves, there aren't need to haves, but as those nice to haves start to stack up against you, this could be a problem. Could be a problem down the line. So it's just best to be proactive and to take the preemptive measures to prevent that, or to head that off at least. But I digress. Let's move on. Okay, so scenario number 2, right? Meet agent number 2. So maybe this agent that is a little overwhelmed and things are falling through the cracks. Maybe that's not you. Okay? Maybe you're the uber organized real estate agent. You know, every morning you rise up, you stiffen your spine, and you ask yourself, what productive task will I accomplish today? And maybe you even have like an extensive checklist, you know, versus things and circumstance and things just flying at you haphazardly. You have like this huge extensive checklist. But here's the problem with this faux productivity, right? We waste the first hour of the day trying to figure out just what the heck to start doing first. You know? And let's be honest, we've all been there. Like, I know I've been there. Like, once upon a time, I mean, I was the legal pad king. And I used to carry this legal pad around and this was prior to my digital transformation, having that one single source of truth, as I spoke about on the previous episode. But I would have my tasks. I would know what needed to be done, and I would have them on this yellow legal pad, right? But man, it would be like 2, sometimes even 3 pages deep. Okay? Now, with like 20, 30, I don't know how many items on it. But this was years ago. So kind of like agent number 2, you know, by the time, you know, we finally create the day's plan of action, we're already 2 hours behind our competitor. And time is money. And being inefficient with the organization and execution of our daily task can negatively impact our bottom line. So, you know, maybe you can identify with agent 1, maybe agent 2, maybe neither. But whether we are identifying with the forgetful agent or the well-intentioned productivity guru, real estate CRM software might just be your ticket to checking off that to-do list and never losing sleep over a forgotten component ever again. Which brings us back to the topic of today's show: will a real estate CRM complicate my life? Now, we just went over those 2 scenarios, agent 1 and agent 2. And let's say those are productive agents. I'm sure they are. They're doing business, they're closing transactions, things are working, and they're doing just fine. So, with that being said, why am I going to bring on a real estate CRM, go through the training, this, that, and the other, when I've already got a lot going on? And yeah, it looks a little bit wonky, but it works. Things are getting done. Deals are getting closed. I've got you. Let's talk about some misconceptions here. The first misconception is that if I were to bring CRM software, it would just make complicated jobs already more complicated. Whether I'm the haphazard or agent where things are flying at me, or I'm the agent with a bunch of tasks, but the right tasks are getting checked off, it's just going to have a compound effect on my current reality. And the thing is, the logic is, I don't need those problems right now. However, that's so not true, because maybe you're like me. Like, I like simple processes, sophisticated strategy, but very simple processes. And in the MarTech world, at least to me, in my MarTech world, a process is just a workflow by another name. You can call it a sequence, you can call it a campaign. What's that gentleman from the CNBC, Marcus Lemonis? He had this thing, people, process, product. Like, he just saw business through that lens, people, process, product. In real estate, regardless of where someone is in the customer journey, there's a process to take a lead to, there's even a process from like lead to like getting an appointment, right? And then, or even qualifying prior to an appointment to make sure this is a qualified lead. And there's a process from going from a qualified lead to setting an appointment. Okay, now the appointment's set, there's probably gonna be some things that you do to kind of lay down the groundwork and to prep that individual or that couple before you meet them. So there's a process for that. And then you get a name on the contract, and you have to go through that whole pre-listing stage. If this is sell side, there's a process for that. The house goes on a contract. That's so on and on and on and on and on, right? So it's just a combination of processes that just makes up a business. And those processes are jobs. We're calling those jobs. So all these things, these tasks, all these tasks, these reminders, these to-dos kind of build up, bubble up, and these are what we call jobs in our processes. And having to kind of take what I'm already doing and put into a CRM, it's just going to make that much more complicated. That's the argument, or the misconception. Remember, we were talking about agent number 2, had that to-do list. And let's say today, these first couple hours in the morning, I'm going to make all my calls. I'm going to call folks at the top of the funnel, leads, going to call folks who I met, who haven't arrived at a decision yet. I'm going to call folks that have deals pending, that are in the pipeline. I'm even going to call folks that I'm just going to follow up with, say hi to, folks in my sphere. Well, modern real estate CRMs, they make it so easy and so convenient for you to program into the CRM, regardless of where your client is in the journey, like just a call list. And that call list, it's live, for lack of a better word. That's just the way I like to describe it. It's live. It's self-calibrating. It's recalibrating itself. When it's someone's time to receive a call, they will go into that call list. And look, I've looked at over 50 real estate CRMs, during my due diligence period. And it's the same thing. It goes by a different name. In one system, it's called a follow-up thing. In another system, it's called a custom view. In another system, it's a call list. In another system, it's an action list. In another system, it's a smart list, But it's pretty much you program into your real estate CRM. Remember, think agent number 2 now, who had that, the productivity guru, has the checklist, but has to go through that checklist to see, okay, who gets a call? And then why are they getting a call? Versus by having that program and having those contacts and their stage and that interval when they're due for a call programmed into your CRM, the right people are going to show up at the right time for you to call. Now let's go over the second misconception, that a CRM will just get in the way of my ability to make calls and actually close deals. So I guess we're kind of staying on this call thing, huh? Okay, let's parlay here for a second. The thing it is, I've got to get on the phone I've got to stir the pot. I'm the rainmaker around here. And the thinking is, or the logic is, if I don't hunt, I don't eat. So I need to be doing things, right? I need to be making calls, stirring the pot. I'm the rain. Look, I get it. Okay. To piggyback off of that previous example that we just talked about, a real estate CRM will allow you to know who to call, exactly when to call them. And because you'll have all your notes that you've taken pulled in right there within their contact record, you will know why you're calling them. A CRM makes it so that you can forget trying to remember everything. If you have all your information right there when you're doing these calls, making these calls, doing these follow-ups, because you have all that data there, all that information there, you can confidently open up that list, look at those names, not even try to stump yourself. Okay, who's this? You don't even have to go through that whole thing in your head to be like, okay, who's this person? All you have to do, because this is what I do, all you have to do is, once I open up this record, right? Open up this, click on this person's name, it opens up. All that information is right there. And it's in a timeline. And because I wish I could say that I came up with this, I borrowed this from a great gentleman, Alejandro. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that right. He said, help your future self when you're taking notes. He said, help your future self when you're taking notes. And I kind of raised my hand. Matter of fact, I raised both hands. It was like a hallelujah moment, because sometimes when I'm taking notes, I'm taking them with the mindset that I know this shorthand I'm writing now, I know what this means. But guess what? Chris's future self, when he looks at this note in about another week or two, I'm looking at it like, who is this for? Is this for me? What are you talking about here? So that was a that I don't know if anybody else out there can relate to it, but it's probably just me. It's probably just me. But since then or now, I mean, and I wasn't that bad. But there were situations where I would look at a note in the record. I'd be like, what am I talking about here? What? Chris, I know you're trying to be brief, but this is clueless. I can't make this out. I can't even translate this. I digress. Let me go and get back to it. When you take good notes and you keep them in the record, you'll be able to go right back to it. You'll have the context there, and in seconds, you're brought up to speed. Let me give you a good example that happened to me here recently. So one of the things that we do in a home services company is that after a client appointment, I'll send them a handwritten thank you note. It will be on the card. Like, I buy the cards in like bundles, but I'll handwrite a note. Thanks for the opportunity, and maybe something personal in there. And I'll put in like a business card. That's something it's in a workflow in my CRM. It's part of the process, the customer process, or it's a job. Again, it's the same name, the same thing, but by a different name. And that's done after every appointment. Now, it can be done the same day, which I've done them the same day. If I'm right there, it can be done the next day or a couple days afterwards. Well, I think it was like a few weeks back. I think I went out of town and we got a little bit busy, and it'd been a couple days since I was actually in my CRM. I knew there were some jobs or tasks that were building up there in the CRM. However, if it was something that was critical, my system is set up to where I would receive an actual notification, right? Either by pop-up in my mobile app or by email. However, I knew within my CRM, there were some automated tasks. I mean, the task itself was not automated, but the population of the task, that part of it is automated. Because like after a job is completed, like plus 1 day from this job date, fire up or assign this task to Chris. And that task is send them a handwritten note. So I knew that was there. something as far as a final invoice with the final numbers, like that was in there too. So all I did was I'm like, okay, I need to get in there and catch up. I fired up the CRM, opened it up, got home, got behind the desktop, finally fired up the CRM, opened it up, went to my home page. In Zoho CRM, we have like a home page and it has several different views. And I went to, ours is actually called Classic View. And, you go in there and the tasks are just right there. And the ones in red are past due. Orange means it's due today. Yeah, and green means it's due tomorrow or later on. I went to Classic View confidently, knowing all I had to do was just go down that list, boom, 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 and just knock them out. And I'm done. Just check them off. Because I already have programmed into the CRM those things that needed to be done. And again, anything that was very important, yes, it can also come up in a task, but if it was important and it required like immediate attention, I will receive a notification. I would receive an email. The system would send me an email, or I would receive a pop-up notification on my phone. It was very reassuring to know that all I had to do was open up my CRM, go to the home to the home page, go in the Classic View, and that everything that needed to be done to get me caught up was right there. And I just needed to boop, 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 take them down like bowling pins. The next misconception is that there isn't a visible ROI, return on investment, with CRM software. Well, we all know that more organization equals more transactions. I'll repeat, more organization equals more transactions, and we all know that more transactions equals increased revenue. So how can a CRM facilitate that, or where does that come into play? One of the stories that I heard quite often, and this is coming directly from real estate agents, you would hear agents saying, hey, I'll go out there and I'll crush it. I'll make, I'll be prospecting, or I'll be catching up with my sphere, and I'll fill up my pipeline, and I'll have multiple deals in my pipeline getting ready to close. And then I'm off there working those deals and moving towards the goal line to kind of, to close those deals or to close those transactions. But what they say is, I'm doing that, but that stops me from doing all the activities that got those deals in the pipeline in the first place, right? When you're better organized, you can take on more leads. You can shoulder more leads, more prospects. When you have some of the jobs or processes or tasks that you have to do to move deals and transactions forward, when you have that automated, you can take on more. So the next misconception is the one of, look, I'm too busy stirring the pot to deal with it. Okay, Rainmaker, I feel you. But here's the thing. Why, oh, why are you stirring the pot? Ma'am, sir, just let your real estate CRM do the stirring for you. Again, via workflows, smart plans, action plans. I've said it 1,000 times. It's the same thing, but by a different name, just depends on the system that you're working in. I think it's a good time to just really be a little reflective, like take a step back and start asking ourselves, if everything that we do, that you do, is worthy of your time and energy. And if not, find a way to systematize it, automate it. The truth is, many of the tasks absorbing your time in the pot stirring, and I'm using air quotes here, in the pot stirring process can be easily automated using a real estate CRM. The software acts as a virtual assistant, dealing automatically with the repetitive, necessary, but time-draining tasks. The CRM's Task Organizer feature helps business owners stay on track with business transforming goals. Automating routine tasks through a CRM provides an opportunity for taking back ownership of valuable time and growing your successful real estate business. A real estate CRM brings each daily task into one platform for the modern realtor. And the result is that this makes life far, far less complicated, y'all, and more organized. Even if you aren't ready to hire a personal assistant, you can still stay on top of your appointments and business tasks by using a real estate CRM. Access tools for streamlining closing transactions, recording your communication with buyers and sellers, reminding you to make calls or send emails, and more. Now, every morning, when you sit down at your desk, you won't spend an hour figuring out what the plans are. You will know who to call, why you're calling. You also know what meetings you must attend, everything. It's all right in front of you from the moment you open the laptop. And since your automated tasks never take a holiday or time off, you can get to work immediately since that CRM works non-stop on your behalf, day and night. So now let's meet Linda Agent. And as I alluded to, it's my belief that Linda speaks to the challenge of the real estate CRM industry and its low adoption rate. It's like NAR in the NAR technology survey, it was around 27%. But it's the responsibility of the real estate CRM industry, MarTech, to solve this, to overcome this. You see, Linda is already a successful real estate agent, as success is defined by her, and rightfully so, as it should be. You see, Linda's thing is, if she does one or two deals a month, she's good. That's plenty enough to keep her busy. She has her free time. She's good. If she does 5 or 6 deals in a month, she's good. Linda's not using the CRM. Linda's thing is, I don't need those problems. I've got a system. It works for me. If I have a month to where I'm doing 1 or 2 deals, that's cool. That just gives me more time to spend with my spouse, children, grandchildren, church, charity, go out, have margaritas with the girls. Heck, Linda might be an altar tennis champion. She might be a jiu-jitsu champion too. Whatever she wants to do. And she's like, if I have 5 or 6 deals, I'm still good. And I'm doing all this without actively using a real estate CRM on a daily basis. But here's the thing, Linda. There's some key features in a real estate CRM that's actually going to make your life easier, not more complicated. For instance, it will make your life easier by organizing your prospect information without using complicated spreadsheets or whatever system you have right now. That's probably time consuming. Okay? It's going to make your life easier by giving you the ability to quickly respond to property inquiries without having to deal through your inbox. You'll be able to get notified at will, however you want, whenever you want, and you can set that criteria, or you can program that criteria into your system. It's completely customizable. Also, it'll make your life easier by keeping track of which prospects you've reached out to and which ones are farther along in the home buying or selling process. It'll make your life easier by tracking your prospects' website activity and email open rates using analytics. This is going to give you those signals that are like, okay, this person probably needs to be contacted. And Linda, it'll make your life easier by helping you maintain contact with past clients for relationship management and future referrals. So like, you'll be able to insert the human elements where you want to have like a personal reach out on a birthday, a home anniversary, a child's birthday, or you want to send out a handwritten note. You can have all that programmed into the system. And lastly, Linda, it'll make your life easier by automating tasks and workflows such as drip email follow-ups after open houses. So you have an open house, and one of the workflows that I really like, and I'm definitely gonna get this up, a video up, just going through the walkthrough of this on the YouTube page, is how to set up an open house workflow to where as soon as a person signs in, like there will be a form for them to go ahead and sign in. They're gonna go into your CRM and they're automatically but it's magically going to a specific open house drip sequence follow-up. If you so choose to, you can program it as such, and you can already have the pre-populated property information in there, whatever data points you want pulled into that drip campaign. The sky's the limit. So that's my attempt to kind of answer the question of, will a real estate CRM just complicate my life? We spoke about, empathize, and kind of laid out there the scenario of two agents out there who already have complicated lives, who have the mindset of, I don't need to bring in this tech, I already got a lot of stuff going on. Well, I think kind of laid out to where a real estate CRM can take a lot of those burdens off of them. And then we covered some common misconceptions, and we wrapped it up by meeting Linda Agent again, who's doing well, and attempted to make a case to Linda how a real estate CRM can improve upon that. All right. A real estate CRM enables your business to work more competitively and effectively. It doesn't complicate your processes or change the way you do business, unless you wanted to, and I don't think you would. I mean, this is why you can customize a real estate CRM, one like Zoho CRM, which comes as part of the Zoho One package. Using Zoho CRM as an example, this truly customizable solution, I mean, it can be modified as needed to fit your needs as a real estate agent. The software comes highly recommended and helps real estate professionals manage marketing campaigns, client inquiries, leads, customer contacts, and post-closing services. Interested in getting your time back and investing more in profitable tasks that only you, the business owner, can handle? Well, try one of the, take one of the real estate CRMs for a test drive. Speak to the product support folks, speak to some of your peers who may be using it, join their community groups, and ask questions, and see how other folks in your industry, in the real estate industry, are using the software and get their feedback on it. In the description box, you're going to find 3 links. I'm going to have one there for a free trial of Zoho One, which includes Zoho CRM. I'm going to have a link to a bundle, to a free bundle that's going to include a course, a getting started course for Zoho One, as well as within the course, you'll have access to a link that's going to allow you to go ahead and get a free trial of Zoho One. And there will also be, because this episode is real estate CRM related, If you are currently a Zoho user, please do hit the link to join the Zoho Real Estate User Group. Janet does an awesome job running that group. I really can't say enough about it. I think that about does it for today's episode. Thank you, folks, for the listen. I hope you have a good day, good weekend ahead. I'll see you on the next one. As always, it's Zoho for the win, baby. Take care.